The 6-4 Jets will take on the 3-win Bears with Mike White at quarterback. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about the New York Jets versus the Chicago Bears. Before we get started today, I wanted to mention where you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. And you could also subscribe there wherever it is that you get your podcast. So the New York Jets are 6-4. The Chicago Bears are 3-8. Unfortunately, the New York Jets are coming off a loss again to the New England Patriots, a tough 10-3 loss. But at 6-4, they are very much still alive, and they made a switch at the quarterback position, which we'll be talking about in this preview. First and foremost, though, we will talk about the DVOA rankings. On offense, the Jets are 20th in the NFL, while the Chicago Bears are 21st. Defense, Jets 6, Bears 30th. So the New York Jets offense, theoretically, no matter, in my opinion, whoever was starting at quarterback, but specifically with Mike White, I think you're getting a bounce back game from the offense. I think they'll be okay and be able to do enough against the Chicago Bears offense or Chicago Bears defense rather, as that unit is not very good, especially against the pass. Also, if you are interested, you have Mojo, the stock exchange right now available in New Jersey for players. And we are looking at Mike White today, who is up 60.83%. He is starting. So if you're a believer in Mike White, you can get in on the action, get him at his low price, and ride that out and cash in on your investment if that's something you're looking to do. Once again, I think the Chicago Bears defense is not very good. So if you are looking to cash in quick, that might be your option. Okay, so in this game, I really don't expect to see Justin Fields, which is what we're going to talk about for, we'll go through the predictions. I'll give you some stat predictions and then score and against the spread and all that stuff we usually do. Justin Fields has a separated left shoulder with torn ligaments. If I'm the Chicago Bears, why am I playing him? He's been coming into his own. He's a very good runner. And his passing has improved. It's not 100% there yet, but the point is, this is a guy who is, with all intents and purposes, a part of your future. Why are you going to try to put him out there at this point when you are already out of the playoff picture and he's banged up? It doesn't make any sense. I don't see how he starts this game. I don't think he should. I think it would be a disservice to the Bears' future if they were to do that. So that means more than likely you'll be getting Siemian. Former Jet Trevor Siemian. Remember him? He started a few games for the New York Jets in 2019. So there's a very good chance we're going to get White versus Siemian, which I think everyone before the season started thought you'd get Zach Wilson versus Justin Fields. Unfortunately, you are not getting that. And instead, probably more than likely, we'll get White versus Siemian. So that is something to keep an eye on. And what I would anticipate, the big key in this game, is the New York Jets defensive line versus the Chicago Bears offensive line. Especially, we know Justin Fields can escape pressure. That's what he's best at. But Siemian is going to be a sitting duck back there. And with this Jets defensive line, I don't see how they don't get home for 6, 7, maybe more sacks, as crazy as that might sound. The Bears have allowed 40 sacks this year, which is tied for first in the NFL. The Jets defense is 6th in the NFL in sacks. I think this defense absolutely feasts against, especially if Siemian starts, but even if Fields starts, I think it'll be a long day for the Chicago Bears on offense. This Jets defense, as they've proven, can hang with anyone in the NFL, and especially against a struggling Bears team, I think they'll be able to do their job. As for Mike White, all right, what do you expect to see from Mike White in this game? I think a lot of, check downs, easy completions, nothing crazy. So I think they're going to spread it out and throw it all over the place. No, I don't anticipate that to happen, but what you saw against the Cincinnati Bengals last year in Mike White's best game was a lot of, easy completions, check downs to the running back. So I think Michael Carter and James Robinson could have potentially a big day. But I would anticipate them trying to keep things easy. They're not going to ask him to do a ton, but he should theoretically on paper be able to, complete some of the easy stuff, the stuff that Zach Wilson was whiffing on. Obviously, it was pretty evident that Zach Wilson is not in it right now mentally, as he's missing checkdowns and his footwork isn't correct. So Mike White, I think, is going to come in there, potentially settle things down, and I think they should be fine offensively. Do I think they're going to explode for 30-plus points against this Chicago Bears team? Even though the defense is really bad, I don't know if I'm at that point yet, but I think they are going to be significantly better than what we saw last week, to say the absolute least. And I think, it's going to be a heavy dose of running and some, easy completions kind of thing. Also, two other big things that are going to happen for the New York Jets. Corey Davis is expected to make his return, and he is one of the Jets' more reliable receivers. And then number two is fantastic as a run blocker. Denzel Mims has been a very good blocker as well, but unfortunately has had some issues with drops. For instance, last week had a really big drop where Corey Davis, yes, in the past has had some drops himself, but has been one of the Jets' more reliable receivers this year, and he's so important in the run game. So getting him back, I think, is going to be big for this team. Also, I would anticipate Nate Herbig being back, which is also tremendous because Dan Feeney can't play at this level. He was not very good in the run game. He was okay pass protecting. Like, I'm not going to blame any of Zach's struggles last week on any of the protections from Dan Feeney, but in the run game, not very good. Nate Herbig was downright dominant in the run game, especially against the Bills on that final drive. So him coming back should open up some lanes for Michael Carter and James Robinson. So I'll expect the New York Jets to average, more than 2 yards a carry or whatever they were getting last week against the New England Patriots. I think they'll have an easier time moving the football against this team. All right, so let's get into the stat predictions. I'll do a couple things here. Mike White, I'll say, throws the ball 34 times. I'll say he goes like 22 or 34, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, which is good. You'll sign up for that. Again, the Chicago Bears defense is nothing to write home about, especially against the pass. So I think you'll be able to just, kind of manage the game and play relatively clean football against this Bears unit. I also, as I said earlier, I think Michael Carter will be very involved in the receiving game. I'll have him have a receiving and a rushing touchdown. I think it's a big Michael Carter day. If you remember last time Mike White started against the Bengals, it was arguably Michael Carter's best game of his NFL career thus far. And I'll also say Elijah Moore gets his first receiving touchdown. I've said that a few times this year, hasn't came true yet, but I think Elijah Moore, who is a little bit more, no pun intended, involved against the New England Patriots, will get some action this week. And I'll say he gets in the end zone. He gets hit on we'll call it a 12-yard slant. And the Jets score a touchdown in the red zone thanks to Elijah Moore. So let's get into the pick segment, which is brought to you by BUSR, the official sportsbook of Matt O'Leary NY. Sign up today using my link, busr.com/Matt, and receive a 150% free play bonus up to $2,500. Sign up using my link. It is my favorite sportsbook and one of the most trusted sportsbooks out there today. So the New York Jets are favorites in this game. They are 5.5-point favorites in this game. And that sounds like a big number, especially after the letdown performance against New England. But I think the Jets roll on Sunday. And to me, it didn't matter who they started, whether it was White, Wilson, Flacco, did not matter, because I think the Jets defense is going to be so dominant that they just roll in this game. I'm taking the Jets minus 5.5. I'll say 24-6 Jets. They win and they beat the Bears. Bears, they're doing some nice things. It's very much so a work in progress. Justin Fields is progressing, but they still have a ways to go. And this Jets defense is just going to be too dominant. Sauce Gardner, who was a little questionable today, I think will be fine. He'll play. And no matter who starts for Chicago, I don't really think it's going to be an issue there. So I'll say 24-6. And by the way, I'm 5-5 against the spread so far. But Casey, she is 7-3. Now, she picked the Jets last week against the spread. Who does she like this week? She's on the Bears, plus 5.5. So maybe Casey's going along with the coin flip, which, by the way, that has the Jets losing this game, but then going on a little bit of a win streak. So who knows? Is the coin going to be right? Are the Jets going to win instead? Let me know your thoughts down below in the description. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.